Hi and welcome to the Pentagon Guider system training. I'm your speaker for the tutorial today and also the co-founder of TradeVSA. My name is Martin Wong. Today we shall explore the many facets of the Pentagon Guider system, which consists of sign of strength, usually bullish, and sign of weakness, bearish, that you will use in any investing and trading. Shall we get started? Now, of course, before we start, do read the disclaimer. Everything we said in the tutorial are for educational purposes and trading involves risks. Now, let's look at the first sign of strength, or we usually call them SOS. Okay. Now, SOS and SOW is part of the TradeVSA Pentagon Guider system. In SOS, sign of strength, we usually call them a kind of like price pillar. It supports the market from collapsing. Usually these are activity by smart money, or we call them professional, where they'll go on buying hidden potential buying. Now there are four sign of strength or SOS, mainly line change, test, no supply, and spring. Let's look at them one by one. Now, of course, not forgetting, each sign of strength will be denoted by the green pentagon that you see on the right hand side, right? So it usually means green means bullish. Now, of course, first one is line change, sign of strength. It's one of the strongest. It usually means it's beginning to mark up in a uptrend stage. So you can see LC followed by a green triangle. Now, line change definition means that it is able to mark higher on high volume. Now look on the chart on the right hand side. It has an LC and you can see volume is definitely stronger, so it will be able to break out from the resistance. Now usually in any chart that you see here, line change are typically found in the stage 2 markup. So every line change will only means markets ready to go higher. Now be careful of too high volume. Line change usually occur with high volume. Now let's look at the second SOS, which is test. Test usually involves testing to the downside to remove any sellers, and we always look for low volume. So look for a test, which usually means low volume, and it is followed by a T or green triangle. Now testing usually done by smart money or professional who is trying to remove these sellers from going higher, right? So usually we call these sellers a weekend holder. So once the seller are removed, the markets are ready to mark higher, and usually we test need to be successful. So you can see in here between the conceptual map that we show here, test usually has the low volume marked by T. Now here are an example in Inari. You could see we have two tests, and once the test is successful, the market is ready to mark higher. Now let's look at the third SOS, which is no supply that needs to be confirmed. It's a variation of test, definitely on low volume, and we usually denote it by CNS, confirm no supply. And here is the schematic of a confirm no supply in here. It's hidden usually at a very low volume in here, and the next bar usually marks up higher, meaning the sellers has been removed as ready to go higher. Now this is what I mean here for the chart icon. Now you can see NS on the right hand side denoted by the red arrow, then the market is ready to move higher. Okay. Now the last of the SOS of sign of strength is spring. It's a form of test into a trading range. Smart money operators is trying to push the price lower to the support, but finally the smart money are able to push back up because they're trying to test for this sellers. Okay, usually that's why it forms a spring. And you can see here spring, the market responses, meaning the supply and demand forces are in place, but eventually demand comes in, supply has been removed, and that's why the market are able to go higher. So springs are usually the one that you will see a little hammer, they call it in Japanese candlestick, that has a long tail. Right, so here you are. Spring usually occurs just before the major move of the market. You could see for icon, same example in here, spring, and then the market moves higher. Now let's turn our attention to sign of weakness. Sign of weakness is just the opposite of sign of strength, and sign of weakness, or sometimes we call it SOW, are usually bearish. Now these are like price pillars that already collapse, and once it collapses, the market find it very difficult to move higher. And usually these are activity from smart money to sell to the public, the weekend holder, and they usually do it hidden. So So that's why it's hidden potential selling. That's right. So sign of weakness, you have 3 of them: sell-off, upthrust, and no demand. Let's look at them one by one. Of course, sign of weakness, usually we have a down triangle denoted by the red, meaning down. Now, first of all, is definitely the sell-off, SO. It's a beginning of a markdown or a downtrend stage. Now, here is the sell-off definition where we have a widespread bar pushing to the downside with high volume. Now, remember, so here's a schematic, and you can see the SO have a down bar breaking through the support with high volume. Now, here's an example of Maybank during the COVID-19 crash. You can see we have a lot of sell-off where the market moved way below the $9 way all the way to $7.20. Now, do take note, usually sell-off with ultra high volume, that's the one you want to avoid. Sell-off with average volume, that's a good one. Now, the next sign of weakness, SOW, is upthrust. Now, upthrust is just the opposite of spring and usually is a widespread bar with a narrow body. Right? Upthrust definition, the markets try to mark higher, but it closed below the resistance and on its low. Right? You can see in here, you can see volume can be very high or average. Usually, upthrust denotes the beginning of a downtrend. And you can see here, upthrust has an example, and then finally, the market breakdown with a SO. Now, here are more examples of upthrust. You can see for Sapura oil and gas, and you can see upthrust here, another upthrust right on the right hand side, which is denoted by the red arrow, and then the market fell. Now, finally, we come to the sign of weakness, no demand. And again, it needs to be confirmed. It just shows the lack of demand or interest from the smart money operator. Market could not go higher, it goes lower on lower volume, and then you see a sell-off bar or a widespread bar to the downside. Now, usually these are found in stage 3 distribution or mark 3. So this is just a beginning of a further markdown. And you can see volumes are very low. The next bar after it usually are higher and it marks down. So that's how you find the no demand and it's confirmed. Here's an example of it nested in between on the Petra Energy, a no demand coming down, and you could see market likely to go down, and it has turned a red pentagon. Now, let's turn our attention to the Pentagon Guider buy and sell signal. What are those? Now, Pentagon Guider signals are basically buy and sell indicators, a proprietary of TradeVSA and created by our company. Of course, you can use the QR code and scan in or visit TradeVSA.com to find out more information about this buy and sell indicators. What it simply says that this is a way where it can time the market almost correctly by denoting the red pentagon to sell, and then it will turn the orange bearish trend zone, and then the green pentagon ready move higher denoted by the blue trend zone. So usually you will have two colors. The orange means it goes down, the blue is ready to go higher. Now, this is one of the ways where many beginners, first timer, are very suitable to use this because it tracks the smart money which we're talking about by generating a lot of buy and sell signal in here, just like the navigational application like Waze GPS. The buy and then the sell. In this case for Top Glove. So if you want to find out more about our TradeVSA, do join the Telegram follower that we have in our TradeVSA trading idea. This is a QR code. You do scan it and you'll be filled with information trading tips that will help you or not. So that's all I have for today's tutorial. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.